in Atlantic Lithium and its subsidiary, Barari DV. I want to find out whether this was a decision at your board level or at the ministerial level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. In respect to Ejapa, which is a royalties company and fully owned by the Minerals Income Investment Fund, as honorable members are aware, this was put on hold. The main reason for Ejapa was to have the IPO done, both in England and Ghana. But for quite a number of factors or reasons, the president advised that this be put on hold. So Ejapa is on hold at the moment. We are not proceeding as of now. With regards to...
a follow-up to that.
Yes.
Has the MIF made any investment or no expenses in relation to the setup of the Ejapa?
Yes, Honorable Chair. Definitely, because this was an IPO, and as honorable members are aware, for every IPO, consultants, etc. come in. The establishment of an office in the United Kingdom and also in Ghana, etc., come into place. So there have been expenses. The whole idea was for MIF to be reimbursed after the IPO. But as the IPO is now suspended, we until that suspension is lifted, we can't move on with Ejapa.
How much have you spent so far in relation to Ejapa?
I'll get the exact figure, but it should be circa, should be around 12 million. 12 million? Yes.
Dollars?
$12 million, right? $12 million.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is hanging now?
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. Continue with the second answer.
So with regards to the Atlantic Lithium...
before you continue with the second, just a follow-up to what Chairman said. You spent $2 million United States dollars in establishing 12 million rather, in establishing 12 million, 2 million in establishing Ejapa. Now the president has advised that we should suspend it, or you should suspend it. We didn't suspend it because we didn't establish anything. At the end of the day, if Ejapa is not able to carry out its objects, will you consider that we would have incurred a loss, financial loss in this transaction?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Ejapa, the expense was towards an IPO. So it is important that the MIF and Ejapa and even Ministry of Finance look at how we could even use the company, it being a royalties company, for other purposes. So the IPO, for such an extensive global IPO, usually such expenses have to be incurred for you to have an IPO. Unfortunately, in the investment bank, well, this is what happens. So it is up to us to look at how we strategize in using this as a royalties company. As honorable members may be aware, a lot of the time the royalties companies actually even make more money than the companies than the companies that are listed. So it was an opportunity, but again, we'll see how it goes. For us, we are not able to give a definite response to this because of the directions and from where the directions also came from. Honorable Chair, with regards to the lithium, we have been mandated to invest our royalties and dividend into the minerals sector and the minerals value chain, and as much as possible to garner value for Ghanaians and to increase our equity when it comes to mining companies. We consider, for MIF, we have quite a good number of expertise when it comes to these investments. And we go through a process where we have an investment advisory committee headed by Mr. Dominic Edu, which includes the CEO of the Ghana Stock Exchange, includes the former managing director of Anglo Gold Ashanti, Idweprim, and includes the gentleman professor responsible for the national development. And then we have a very very good board. So before we take a decision, it goes through all these processes. For lithium, we saw lithium.
No, we'll come back to lithium.
Yes, I was responding to.
But the people you have enumerated, that must be a very solid team.
Oh yes, it is, and
they're a very solid team.
Oh, yes, in my opinion,
okay. My next question.
Yes.
So the decision to establish the AJAPA was a decision of Minerals Income Investment Fund, right?
Honorable Chair, I was not in when AJAPA was established, but my information is that Ministry of Finance advised the setup of AJAPA.
So
the investment advisory committee that we have was set up under my tenure.
So the Minerals Income Investment Fund was instructed by Ministry of Finance to establish AJAPA. Did the fund do due diligence to know that this might be a very good investment before accepting the request from finance to go into this?
My understanding, Honorable Chair, is that the Ministry of Finance procured the services of international consultants and companies and financial institutions that have done this before in the past, and that the advice provided was what the Ministry of Finance stood on. At the time, like I mentioned, I was not at the helm of affairs.
No, I know you are not there.
Yes.
We just want to interrogate to see that.
Yes.
As a fund, do you accept any proposal from any corner?
No, we just don't accept any proposal. We go through proposals rigorously.
Do you do your own due diligence? If a proposal comes, you do your own diligence and say, oh, this is a good investment.
Yes, Honorable Chair. Forward. Yes, Honorable Chair, we do.
Was that done in regard to AJAPA? When the proposal came from Minister of Finance?
Honorable Chair.
Was that due diligence done?
Honorable Chair, thank you. I had mentioned earlier that the services of experts.
No, I'm not talking about the service of experts. This is an establishment, AJAPA as a company to be established.
Yes.
For a purpose. Whether you procure a service of a good consultant or not is a different issue. But the project itself, let's do this. Have you done due diligence to know that, oh, this is a good project, let's go in, before we go to a procurement of the consultant or whatever?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The reason why I mentioned the service of consultants as a fund, you may not have all the expertise in-house. So when you're doing your due diligence, you actually procure the services of experts who have done that before.
Okay, I now understand. So you procure the service of experts who, at the end, give you a report that is a good project.
That is what we do. So for AJAPA, again, like we mentioned earlier, we started from the Ministry of Finance, and from the documents that we have, it is clear that the correct advice was provided on the setup of a gold royalties company, where the streaming of the royalties would be beneficial to Ghana.
Okay, good. So now the president just take a phone or call it to his office and say, stop this, don't go. Did you ask the president for any reason?
Honorable Chair, I'm not too sure I understand that question. Because
what I mean is that
I've not been called by the president to stop.
What I mean is that order. What I meant is that Minerals Income Investment Fund, through proposal from Minister of Finance and procurement of consultant, is convinced that establishment of AJAPA will inure to the benefit of people of Ghana.
I can't speak to the Ministry of Finance per se.
No, I haven't finished my statement.
Okay, all right.
So you have done all these due diligence. You realize that the project is fine. Then the president say, stop it. We have incurred $12 million. The president says, stop it. Without giving you any reason. Then you stop it.
No, that was no way.
Honorable nominee, what is your take on this? Are you a surrogate of anybody?
Honorable Chair, Then before I go on, there's one more disclosure that I have to make in respect of Honorable Member Bulsa North. I was actually the chairman at his wedding reception.
Chairman was right. That he almost said that, yes, I do on your lips too.
Honorable Chair, if I may answer. Whoever says I'm a surrogate of a law firm or implicates me in the Japa transaction clearly does not know me. Because if you know me, you wouldn't make such allegations. And so all these things that came up, I took it as coming from uninformed positions. Because I was not involved in the Japa transaction in any form or manner, by any stretch of the imagination, however fertile. As for relationships, as I just disclosed, the fact that I was so close to you at some point in our lives will not give you, or you not give me a free pass because of that relationship. And that is why I'm here. And if there is a matter, I'm not going to say because I know one person or the other, I'm going to give the person a free pass. I certainly will investigate. But the truth of the matter ought to be told. I wasn't involved in the deal. I was nowhere near it. Indeed, until it started coming up, I didn't even know what it was. For the record, that is the truth. Whoever says I'm a surrogate of a law firm or implicates me in the Japa transaction clearly does not know me. Because if you know me, you wouldn't make such allegations. And so all these things that came up, I took it as coming from uninformed positions. Because I was not involved in the Japa transaction in any form or manner, by any stretch of the imagination, however fertile. As for relationships, as I just disclosed, the fact that I was so close to you at some point in our lives will not give you, or you not give me a free pass because of that relationship. And that is why I'm here. And if there is a matter, I'm not going to say because I know one person or the other, I'm going to give the person a free pass. I certainly will investigate. But the truth of the matter ought to be told. I wasn't involved in the deal. I was nowhere near it. Indeed, until it started coming up, I didn't even know what it was. For the record, that is the truth. And so I'm no one surrogate. As I said earlier, I'm my own man, and I prefer to wear my own shoes. If the law firm was named, it would have even been fair to me. But if you say I'm a surrogate of a law firm, clearly you don't know me. I ran my own law firm. I've been running it since 2014 as a managing partner. I cannot be described as a surrogate of that law firm or any other law firm.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is elitism masquerading as intellectualism. It is weakness strutting as courage, and crony capitalism masked as development in freedom. It is shameless hypocrisy pretending to be objective. This will never move our country forward. Rather, the most significant achievement of all these has been a country in near insolvency. Its natural resources such as water, land, and even the environment in rebellion, a people harassed and intimidated into numbness, and as some will say cynically, some of us also bribed into silence. I envisage a report on the administration of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama on the ticket of the NDC in his reign 2013 to early 2017. And I bet that the report will have no reference to the following: a multi-million dugout. I don't know about you, but the image I get looking at that hole is a trench in utter shock that anyone could believe it was intended as a Thanksgiving gift to the Almighty, invisible, God only wise. You will not find in his record a free SHS at war. The battle fought on the grounds of food, shelter, space, even calendar, teaching and learning materials, or those who spend a couple of weeks in school and many months at home just idling by. You will not find past questions instead of textbooks and science equipment. You will not find an atmosphere that suppresses learning. You will not find free water and electricity to a few that has turned out to be most expensive for everyone. Such a report will not find COVID money shared for partisan political campaign purposes. And all of this done when people were dying and they needed just a little bit of help. You will not find in his term an Ejapa-like manifesto.
I mean, that is a very, very categorical statement, and I think we all need to verify the veracity of that. I think the question of taxes can be an independent question, not linked to that. I mean, we have proposed a number of taxes that you are aware of that would affect petroleum, which would lead to revenue for a Delta Fund for energy, for capacity charges, because we continue to have a gap between what ECG should be paying and what the rates are. So that was one, to make sure that we get the energy sector operational. We also have a huge sanitation problem that you all know about, and I think that is a health hazard for the years ahead, and therefore we are trying to. But the essence of the budget, when we say one year here, is that it's a battle cry for us to join together to look at growth and transformation as opposed to bend our heads down because of COVID. And the question is whether we can burden share and therefore move to sharing the opportunities that will.
Say beboa ama ankurankura dwuma atitim wo Ghana. One pray no say one day abai the one person abai in the dikai. Ye pay for say there be you here and they say obema ankurankura dwuma ya for enya hoden na no energy because one ebebre.
MPP will shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation to production. So we are going to move away from taxation to production. From taxation to production. The MPP will shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation to production. So we are going to move away from taxation to production. From taxation to production. The MP.
What has happened? If monies which should not be paid have been paid, 12 million is not small money, my sister. It's not small money. And we are taxing people. In fact, we are moving the country from taxation to robbery instead of to production that we were promised.
Now we are robbing everybody. Even your money that you are using to pay them, they tax you on it. So the
MPP will shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation to production.
What has happened? If monies which should not be paid have been paid, 12 million is not small money, my sister. It's not small money. And we are taxing people. In fact, we are moving the country from taxation to robbery instead of to production that we were promised. Now we are robbing everybody. Even your money that you are using to pay them, they tax you on it. So this is robbery. We are robbing people and use it this way. I can't get it.
With cuts in government expenditure, the private sector undertaking expenditure that would normally be done by government, and the new tax regime, the flat tax regime, that will enhance compliance, broaden the tax base, and increase tax revenue. With these policies, the situation we are going to face in 2025 is going to be very different from the situation we faced in 2020 and 2022. With the policy measures implemented so far, we have outperformed the IMF fiscal deficit target of 5% by attaining a fiscal deficit target of 4.2% in 2023. The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit.
This country called Ghana and all the resources we have, now government doesn't even see anywhere to tax. They are taxing our electricity also. Tomorrow they will tax our water. And we are not going to sit down for that to continue. That's why I'm saying you are going to have baptism of fire. We need to fight it until this thing is cancelled. And that is the immediate thing. How can you add this to the problems that we have in this country? The lifeline they are talking about is just 30 kWh. 30. It used to be 50. They've brought it down to 30. And if you consume, if you have 2 light bulbs in your house, 2, and you have television, and if you leave the television on for more than 5 hours, you will pay this tax. If you have fridge, you are out. You are going to pay the tax on the fridge. Why should this happen in this country? Tomorrow, if we don't resist this, tomorrow they will come and tax water. They will say there's a lifeline. This lifeline that they are talking about is 2 bulbs. Part of television, maybe half television. And if you switch on your fridge, you will pay this VAT. This law was passed in 2013. Why is it that all these governments have not implemented it? Why is it that we are allowing IMF to dictate to us to implement this law now? So, comrades, you have been elected at a time that there is a big fight on our hands. And we are going to fight it until we win. This country called Ghana and all the resources we have, now government doesn't even see anywhere to tax. They are taxing our electricity also. Tomorrow they will tax our water. And we are not going to sit down for that to continue. That's why I'm saying you are going to have baptism of fire. We need to fight it until this thing is cancelled. And that is the immediate thing. How can you add this to the problems that we have in this country? The lifeline they are talking about is just 30 kWh. 30. It used to be 50. They brought it down to 30. And if you consume, if you have 2 light bulbs in your house, 2, and you have television, and if you leave the television on for more than 5 hours, you will pay this tax. If you have fridge, you are out. You are going to pay the tax on the fridge. Why should this happen in this country? tomorrow, if we don't resist this, tomorrow they will come and tax water. They will say there's a lifeline. This lifeline that they are talking about is 2 bulbs. Part of television, maybe half television. And if you switch on your fridge, you will pay this VAT. This law was passed in 2013. Why is it that all these governments have not implemented it? Why is it that we are allowing IMF to dictate to us to implement this law now?
We talked about moving the economy from a focus on taxation to a focus on production. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of measures to get the economy back on track when we had these challenges and to improve domestic revenue mobilization and improve efficiency, government has increased a number of taxes. We extended the National Fiscal Stabilization Levy and the special import levies from 2020 to 2024. We imposed initially a luxury vehicle levy, which was later abolished. We increased the CST from 6% to 9% and later decreased it from 9% to 5%. MPP will shift the focus of economic policy away from taxation to production. So we are going to move away from taxation to production. From taxation to production.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 10th day of May 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude will go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. Men account for 60% deaths. Blood pressure, heart failure, stroke to blame. EVAT pilot records 58% increase in revenue. The Mirror gears up to celebrate mothers. Cocoa, country's oxygen. Brian Edu. The Ghanaian Times. Redevelopment of Krofrom Market. 3 million Ghana cedis missing from project fund. KMA members provoked. Demand probe. Security heads inspect new forward operating base at Sandema. Kole Clotte delegation gains waste management expertise in Moscow training. Leverage digital tech to combat corruption. VIP. Daily Guide. EC bounces NDC BVR request. Over 2,000 registered babies fatherless. Report. NDC goons fired shots at Peace Council. Bawumia eyes blockchain to fight corruption. Security chiefs visit troops in Sandema. New weekend crusading guide. Electoral Commission declines NDC's request. Rebuffs. You can't have serial numbers of BVR kits. It's risky. Ghana to become first blockchain-powered government in Africa. Dr. Bawumia. Gomwa chiefs condemn Millennium City shooting. Express condolence to grieving family. Security couples bolster Ghana readiness against terrorism. Increase forest finance to save our planet. Lands Minister advocates at UN Forum. Asante Ini charges new CEO. Go and make GMPC great again. The Insight. Nalai. Alan tackles Bawumia over promise of 100% Ghanaian ownership of natural resources. EC stolen BVR case. NDC petition speaker to constitute bipartisan investigation into saga. Anger in Nigeria over introduction of e-levy on money transfers. Media freedom faces unprecedented threats globally. Reports say on World Press Freedom Day. The Herald. NPP comfortable in quotes with stolen biometric voter machines. Let's stop Akufo-Addo's Yenchendi government this year. Mahama. Magdan Group owner sees trouble for Ghana's economy with departure of foreign companies. Bawumia exposes corruption ring inside ECG. Asante Ini urges GMPC rejuvenation under new CEO. The Informer. Yehowa, honest in quote, Okujato defends Cecilia Dapa, insults Ghanaians as dishonest people, but Domelevo disagrees. Chiefs support Bawumia, describe him as humble, respectful, and intelligent. Towards curbing terrorism, national security pledges support for military, commissions forward operating base. Limited voter registration exercise, EC allays fears, promises to extend 21-day process. Vested lands, government to address challenges, lands minister assures. Mahama accuses Akufo-Addo of bad governance, corruption, and others. Africa Prosperity Dialogues 2025, game-changing infrastructure, investment focus. The Inquisitor. For defending Cecilia Dapa, Domelevo flays Okujato, expresses disappointment in AG. 70% of Accra's waste is collected, 30% uncollected. Zoom Lion reveals. Noise pollution at Laboni, 355 lounge still misbehaving. Protozoa calls for active participation in EC's exercises. NMC supports Radio Gold in advertisement dispute. The Daily Searchlight. Is he eligible to contest election 2024 or not? Supreme Court to decide John Mahamad's fate. Attorney General calls for full media coverage of cases on human, sexual rights and family values bill 2024. My goal is for Ghana to have the first blockchain-powered government in Africa. Dr. Bawumia. Looting of state lands in Wa to end. Mr. Promiser. Bawumia with more wild promises to turn universities into mining companies, to buy caterpillars for miners. The New Finder. Will adopt blockchain for data security and detect corruption. Jinapo calls for increased forest finance at UN Forum. Forward operating base in Sandema vital in fight against terrorism. Security heads. EC NDC clash over BVR kit serial numbers. Daily Post. EC protecting those in possession of stolen BVR kits. NDC insinuates. Mahama encourages voters amidst registration challenges. PDS scandal. US shuts down $190 million compact with no immediate plans to work in Ghana again. You have spent almost 8 years bathing in the sky instead of focusing on development, Joyce Bauer tells Akufo-Addo. The Catholic Standard. Restore Ghana to its former glory, Bishop Louis. Learn and practice true motherhood as divine calling. Vatican to publish new document on Marian apparitions. Make civic education part of school curriculum. World needs Christian hope, Pope. An editorial, a quest for transparent, free, fair, and peaceful elections. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Fortune Rice, it's me emu ediane biara. Yansio kakre bipe, emu no nkikamu. Na ne hwam ne dedie. Delicious. Said your mama tie no pepepe.
Ya the Fortune emopa abedwaso. Ghana mo a ede. Ma emu ediane nyina.
FDA aje ejedi nkratoa yatum.
Frital has sachets and in different sizes too. You didn't know? These Frital sachets that we all use to fry our meat and fishes, to prepare our favorite meals, and to refill our empty original Frital bottles. Hey! Are you sure you are a fellow Ghanaian?
Get your trusted Frital sachets today for affordability, convenience, and for the refilling of your original Frital bottle.
Frital, you deserve a life of goodness. This advert is...
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Our stories begin right here, and we never write them alone. There'll be pages we love to read again and again, and some we want to tear out. They are stories of dreamers, stories of creators, stories of strivers, stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. We invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters. APSA.
Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still on point. For your bread,
it's creamy.
For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, what's up?
How far with your internship?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh, please. I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for interns. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
After you're on a line, ting.
Hey now, what Look at you. What are you going to do in your office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with your front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The Pacho Bantama.
Machasi.
Her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Gidi said we use Cal 360 toothpaste.
Send me Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim Jom Kasa. Cal 360 did the work. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You so feeling to Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
The biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadom Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy, and responsive engine. Nadom Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories, and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix. Wukwain Sunyonko Papa.
Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Herbal Hospital. Baby, a son with beer. Nanso, Yari, Sapa,
spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Herbal Hospital.
You can explain the margin calls to us.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have the Vice Chair of Bawumia 2024, Nana Akumia. Nana, good morning.
Morning, Randy.
Also with me on the show this morning is the Honourable Member of Parliament for the North Don constituency. He's also ranking member on the Foreign Affairs Committee in Parliament, Samuel Kujato Ablakwa. Samuel, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Doc.
Right. So if you're looking for that toothpaste that is of high quality, affordable, and great for the entire family, then the recommended family toothpaste is KEL 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. KEL 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. KEL 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint, gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use KEL 360 toothpaste. KEL 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. Call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. KEL 360 toothpaste, happy smile. And enjoying the fruits of your labor is as important as enjoying the mansions of your labor. The pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages, but worry no more. Lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple, self-supported elevator for both homes and offices, and guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakumon, or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movement. All right. So, I see your candidate has been busy.
Yeah.
This week. How's it going?
The reaction from the ground has been very encouraging. The template is that when he goes into a constituency, he meets the chiefs in the region, and then he meets identifiable groups, especially youth groups. And then he does walkabout. He goes to markets, places where the people are in their natural environment, and literally house to house. And when you look at the footage, the reaction from the people have been fantastic. And his message also to the target groups, the identifiable groups that he meets in the constituencies, that the message goes down very well. People are enthusiastic about his message, they contribute to it. And so it's going very well. We don't have a lot of time. Our main opponent, President Mahama, started way earlier. And so there's a lot of work covering all the 276 or 75 constituencies. But he's got a lot of energy, he's got a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of adrenaline, and I'm sure that he will cover all the 276 constituencies. And so we are on course.
In the primaries, you were everywhere with him.
Yeah.
Now you are in the office.
No, I'll be joining them soon.
Oh, okay.
It's a long haul. I'll be joining them soon. But you know, when you get onto the ground, everybody wants to see him. Now, those of us following him, really, maybe just to give feedback, so you watch, you give feedback, but you try to get in the way of the people, they'll push you down. Everybody wants to see him. But I'll be joining them soon, probably next week.
Yesterday, I forgot, I should have sent it to you. A friend of mine sent a picture. He's actually a journalist as well. And at the STC yard, I don't know if that report came to you at Ho. They had been there for hours, virtually the whole day, and there was no bus. And there were there students and others who wanted to come home. Yeah.
When the students reopen all over the country, you have to have special arrangements because the normal flow of traffic would not cater for the students. The schools in Cape Coast, so for example, when the schools in Cape Coast reopen, we have special student services. So the schools will come, maybe 6-7 buses from Fanspim, 4 buses for Holy Child. So they are all arranged and they come to the place. And we've told our managers that when the schools are reopening in your regions, you have to approach them and organize special services. So extra buses are put there and so on. Otherwise, you have students staying at the terminals for days. I haven't had that report, but if that is true, I'll have to find out from the regional manager, because we've told them that even if the students do not come, you have to, because schools will be reopening and there's going to be a lot of student passengers, and we don't want them to be coming to the terminal unorganized, coming on their own. The terminals become like a refugee camp. So go in there, organize. If you let head office know that you need 5, 6, 7 buses because your schools have reopened, then it's organized. So I'm surprised that they had a problem at home. Of course, it's not always that you can get all the buses for them, especially when all the schools are reopening at the same time. You can only allocate a certain number of buses, so you will still have a lot of people trooping to the terminals. But we usually try and organize it so that the students are not left stranded.
That's yesterday.
Oh, okay. At the whole terminal.
Yes.
So we could have diverted a lot of the buses from Aflao. Ho is not as busy as Aflao. Aflao is very busy. But if it's organized, then a lot of buses can be diverted from Aflao to Ho.
A few weeks ago, I drove to Lome. And I found something. I've forgotten. I thought I was going to raise it with you. I've forgotten. In 10-minute intervals, I saw 4 of your Abidjan buses returning to Accra.
Yeah.
10 minutes of each other.
They are from Cotonou.
Okay.
But
I saw Abidjan.
They have to. Well, we do Cotonou to Abidjan.
Okay.
The Francophone countries, their main commercial center is Abidjan. So many affluent families in Togo, Benin, Burkina, they will go to schools so we actually do student services when they reopen.
In Abidjan?
Yes, to take people from Cotonou, Lomé, Ouagadougou to Abidjan. The commercial center is Abidjan. So we do like 10 a week from Cotonou to Abidjan. We do about half of that number from Lomé to Abidjan. We do Ouagadougou to Abidjan, and then vice versa.
So this one, it was on a Friday. I saw one, Abidjan.
Yeah.
Like they were inside Ghana.
Yeah.
Then within 10 minutes, another one. Then another. So I saw 4.
Actually, the Francophone business is probably the most lucrative side of our business because of the currency. Their currency is hard. Convertible currency. So the problem we are facing now, and it's a big problem, we suffered a lot with the COVID time, the fiscal restrictions during the COVID time, but more particularly from the macro economy. Because anytime the cedi loses value and the petrol price goes up, we bleed severely. Because you can't. Your
fares don't change.
Your fares don't change, So in the period between 2017 and 2019, those 3 years when the macro situation was stable, fuel was about 28% of our cost. So our margins were good. And those were the times that we introduced innovations that nobody had seen before. We introduced hot meals on board, cabin service, train girls, just like the aeroplanes now. And people who come from America and they're like, what, are we in Africa? Because you don't get that even on Greyhound in America and so on. Because it was a stable and our margins were good. In the COVID time, fuel became 58% of our cost, from 28 to 58.
30%.
So when you buy fuel and you pay salaries, there's nothing much for maintenance. But today the situation is, well, much more stable than the period 2020 to 2022. And in the COVID time, the Francophone terminals were closed for 3 years. So that's about a third of our business going. But now the borders are opened, travel is flourishing, the macro situation is fairly stable, the fuel is not going up like on a weekly basis. So it's a very good time to have the transport business. Unfortunately for us at STC, our fleet is old.
Old?
Yeah.
But you had a lot of new
4 years
buses.
ago. Okay. So these buses have done 300,000 kilometers. We have buses that have done 1 million kilometers.
So what should be the
4 years?
The replacement?
4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
And in kilometers?
Kilometers, 350,000.
You should change.
You should change.
And most of them have done that.
The 4-year buses have done 350,000 kilometers. The 8-year buses have done 1 million kilometers. So they should be changed. Our balance sheet is not too healthy for us to leverage it to A. So it's been a dream.
Maybe,
but we are making.
Maybe we must pray for another heated chairmanship primary, so you can get some new buses.
No. That thing didn't work. In fact, that thing cost us a lot of money.
How? You got 200 or 300 new buses. 100
buses.
Okay.
But these are small buses.
Mini, like vans.
Vans.
Okay.
40. Two big problems. Well, because these buses were coming, we went out of our way, spend money to open new terminals across the country. Because we're getting 100 new buses. So we opened terminals in the new terminals in Cape Coast. Cape Coast has always been there. But Tamale, we opened 2 new terminals. Medina, Pokuasi, Amasaman, Kaswa. Kaswa we opened 2. All over the place. In Kumasi we opened 2 more terminals. I wasn't all this place. On the Ashanti border with Brongahafo. I've forgotten the name of the place. So we could do shuttle between Ashanti and then because it's on the border, I don't go through Kumasi traffic. So we do shuttle between Kumasi and the Brongahafo. Abrepo. That's it. We opened a big terminal at Abrepo and all of that. And then these 100 buses came. 2 things. They were 12 seaters.
Instead of?
14.
Okay.
So commercially, it was going to be a problem. Because once we take our margins, what is left for the owner is quite small. 2, they were petrol.
Not diesel.
Not diesel. Petrol burns faster than diesel. So if you're going to do commercial transports, diesel, you get because petrol burns faster. But most importantly, after we spent all the money and done all these new terminals, the people who brought the buses got into an ownership dispute. The 2 partners and the banks got into a dispute. You remember some of the buses were bent at some point at home, and we all thought it was part of that dispute. It was that bad. So,
but we thought it were
3 months.
Blaze buses.
Well, I don't want to mention names, but let's say it was a partnership. The partners got into conflict. So we had to pack. After 3 months, we had to pack. In the first place, we advised them, and they agreed. So we converted the 50 of them into 14-seaters.
Okay, you added seats.
No, we took 2 seats from 50 buses.
Okay.
So 50 buses now had 10.
Okay.
And 50 buses now had 14.
Okay.
The idea was that as you generate a bit of money, you replace four seats on the 50 and so on. But in just a couple of months, they got into a dispute. And so the buses will be seized at Sogakope on route with passengers and all as a result. So we have to pack the 100 buses for 2 years. Yeah, that's what's happened today. Eventually, we got them to come and take the buses. We even said, look, whilst you people are in courts and all of these things, let us operate the buses. Put it into an escrow for you. When you finish your court case, the money will be sitting there for you. I mean, the disagreement was so hot, they couldn't even agree on that. Eventually, we had to get them to come and take the buses after they've been parked at our place for over 2 years. They found a place at Circle and went and parked them there whilst they are in dispute.
So that's what we saw.
That's what they said.
With your STC branding?
No, because we had removed the branding. But one of them, they were all over the place. Some were at Aflau, some were at Ho. They brought one, which the branding hadn't been removed.
Oh.
And then, of course, they said Nana Komia had stolen some STC buses, parked and was going to sell them and all. But, so you have to come and explain. So we lost a lot of money. The investment that we did in the terminals across the country, new terminals, so that when the buses it didn't materialize. But that's gone. But what we need now is a new fleet. And
how many?
If we get 50 new buses.
The big ones?
The big ones.
Okay.
So we are making arrangements. Yeah, we'll be making arrangements, and we hope that we'll be able to get some. If we get the new buses, we'll be back.
Okay.
Now, like I said, the macro situation is better. Fuel is now just about 33 of our cost, 33, 34. But because the buses are old, maintenance has gone up. If I showed you the maintenance bill monthly, you could be amazed. So that's what we are trying to do, get a new fleet.
So, Sammy, this week you've been quiet, but there's a video I saw. When I saw it, you were the first person who came to mind. And it's about something that happened at the Public Accounts Committee. I don't know if it's come to your attention, but I'd like the producer to play that video. The Bank of Ghana and the Auditor General were at the Public Accounts Committee, and this has to do with the Pualugu Dam and some $11 million classified as final payment. And I'm trying so hard to have an understanding of what's happened. I'm sure that is early days yet, but let's just watch that particular encounter at the Public Accounts Committee.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Page 23. Page 23. Somewhere you will see final payment for construction of the Pualugu irrigation project. Yes. Pualugu irrigation project, final payment. 2-3. At the top there you see the last but one. Final payment for the construction of the Pualugu irrigation project. The question is, I thought probably before payments are made, contractors present certificates. Because when you get to Pualugu, there's nothing there. There's no even a pole. There's no even a signboard. And if the contractor is taking $11 million, there's nothing. There is no even a what do we call it? Like a container. You can't even see the project site. So what certificate was presented before this money was paid? That's my question. Oh. The sun there was at all. There's no even sun on the site. You can't even identify the site. I want to know how that money was paid.
Yes, he will answer.
I think the amount you're referring to was paid in 2021, not 2022. And the auditors would have to tell us because they must have cited their documentations before they wrote this report. The Auditor General, yeah. So maybe they can explain.
Before then, if assuming that it was something like a mobilization, but if you say final, okay.
No. It's a final payment.
It's a final payment, okay.
Can we, auditors, could you help us out over here? It says final payment. Now the honorable member is saying that there's nothing at that site. I'm sure when you did the audit, you saw something.
Honorable Chair, Controller instructed them to pay, and they paid. We are not aware whether the project has been completed or there's nothing ongoing.
Sammy, you've seen this video?
Yeah, and Doc.
We're talking about $11 million as if we're talking about 2,000 Ghana cedis.
How many times are we going to see things like this under this Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration? There is a tall list of fantastic sums of money paid to people for absolutely no work done. $11 million. And the MPs posing this question are MPs from the Upper East region. That is where their constituencies are. If any work has gone on the ground, they would know. We have all traveled to the Upper East region. Indeed, I was there about 3 months ago. Our communicators took me to the site. It's become like the Keta Port site. Infamous for a lot of razzmatazz. You remember at the sword cutting, the president and the vice president boasted that it will be the biggest project Ghana has ever seen. No work. The place is overgrown with weeds. We are shell-shocked to realize that a colossal, a staggering $11 million. I mean, just think about what $11 million can do. Just take one issue, begging for attention. My fellow constituents who are still living in tents as we speak, $11 million will solve that crisis, that humanitarian crisis. They will all be moved out of the tents. They will get decent accommodation. $11 million. And I talk about the tall list. Doc, you are aware that as we speak, $12 million has been discovered by auditors to have been spent on the botched Ejapa deal. When Parliament, civil society organizations, all of us thought that we had successfully blocked the dubious Ejapa deal, the Auditor General reveals that apparently $12 million. And when they were asked to account, they say that office to rent in London, arrangements to be listed on the London Stock Exchange, $12 million. That is a Japa. As we speak, Ghana has lost $2 million to another phony South African company that was ostensibly to provide a sky train for Ghana. Of all the things that the railway ministry should have been thinking about. See the disaster with the traditional land rails. If you look at where we were in terms of rail transport, even 20 years ago, 30 years ago, we were more advanced than now. But somebody thought it was a brilliant idea to forget about resuscitating the railways, and that it is time for Ghana to have a sky train. $2 million is lost as we speak. The phony South Africans have gotten away. We can't find them. That is not all. As we speak, the Sputnik V vaccine that we paid $2.4 million to these shonky sheikhs, dubious middlemen who did not have any credible links whatsoever with Moscow. Indeed, the ranking member on the health committee and I paid a courtesy call on the Russian ambassador to find out if they knew about this Sheikh Maktoum, who our former health minister was happy to deal with. The Russian ambassador told us in that meeting, following our oversight visit, to find out exactly if they know about this whole deal. They said that, look, we are here, we are an embassy, we will facilitate. If the health ministry had contacted us, we will give them direct access. These middlemen they are dealing with, we don't know them. We have checked with officialdom in Moscow. We don't know them. They don't have any authorization to deal with your government. That is what the Russian ambassador told us. We put out a statement after. The Russians have been denying it. It's a fact. The Ministry of Health, the Foreign Affairs Ministry, they have told us in Parliament that they did not route their request through the embassy. I mean, who does that? We even have an embassy in Moscow. We didn't think that any due diligence should be carried out. As we speak, this sheikh has promised to refund $2.4 million. It remains a promise. We don't have our money back. That is not all. We have been discussing here for some weeks how $49 million has been spent on the Buankra Inland Terminal and Logistics Project. $49 million in a very dubious transaction, totally violating what Parliament approved, Parliament's concessional agreement on this matter. A total violation. $49 million. There is no value for money. Indeed, the contention of the parties is that what has gone on there should not have been more than $4 million. That's what independent valuers are telling us. And yet $49 million has gone in there. No due process, no procurement, laws respected. And as we speak, the Ministry of Transport, the GPHA, the Shippers Authority, they would not even account to the Ghanaian people to justify the release of $49 million. And they are going for more loans. Cabinet has given them the green light to even go for more loans, to spend more. I mean, incredible. Look, I've saved the best for last. This country, we still are in shock at that hole that we see on a daily basis. which has cost the taxpayer $58.1 million. We are calling the National Cathedral pit, the world's most expensive pit. $58.1 million. I mean, think about $58.1 million, what it can do. You know, recently when I was invited as guest speaker to Supplies Overseas, the annual fundraising dinner, to support our hospital project in the constituency. When I arrived, the biggest news in Kentucky is that the state of Kentucky has spent $50 million, just $50 million, to open an opportunity center, a magnificent edifice, very, very, very beautiful, imposing for the youth. And you have all the, tech companies, you have the top 1,400 companies, all of them having, stands there where you can go and apply for jobs, and they're advertising new, products. Only $50 million, and this was the biggest stock in the United States. We have spent $58.1 million. And you see, Doc, all of this wastage that we are discussing, if you see some of the loans that we go for, I hold in my hands the annual public debt report. And you see how we go a begging for sums that are far lower than what we are wasting. We went for a loan, 3.9 million euros, to purchase 55 intercity buses. 3.9 million euros. It's less than half of what we have wasted on this Pualugu project of $11 million. There's another loan we went for here, $10.5 million for the construction of 5 general hospitals at OCM, Asin, Kushia, Doma, Akwamu, Uyafe, and Kutre from Commerce Bank, Ministry of Health. $10.5 million. There's $8.4 million here, China Shipbuilding Training Company. West Africa Food System Resilience Program, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, $2 million, just $2 million. Less than what we have given to that sheikh who came to deceive us, clearly an imposter. Our health minister didn't do any due diligence. He's flown away with our $2.4 million. And yet we have gone to borrow. We are disturbing the World Bank. We put in the application 25th March 2022. These are documents submitted to Parliament by the government. $2 million and 80,000 for the West Africa Food System Resilience Project. Poultry sums. So, our problem in this country, it's not that we don't have money. Our people should not be living in the squalor, the poverty, the deprivation that they find themselves. It is just the bad leadership, the wastage, the corruption. And you see how people even pass the buck. Look at the cavalier attitude of the governor. I mean, no panic. He doesn't take responsibility. So let's go and find out from the controller. Let's find out from those who paid. The auditor should give us more information. And that's it. Doc, there is a statement John Dramani Mahama made this week in response to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo when he said that Ghanaians should not vote for John Mahama because he will not protect his legacy. Former President Mahama's response is just so apt. Absolutely fantastic. That look, he is not going to protect a legacy of corruption. A legacy of nepotism, of economic mismanagement. I salute former President Mahama for that response. And Doc, if you listen to Ghanaians, as we all interact, as we communicate with fellow citizens on a daily basis, the number one issue now on the minds of Ghanaians is a firm assurance that there will be retrievals of all of these looted funds in the wrong places. That is the firm assurance Ghanaians are looking for. Ghanaians do not want this legacy protected. And that is why many Ghanaians are celebrating President Mahama for that response. They want the firmest of assurances that when we come to power from January 2025, this Pualugu $11 million will be retrieved. And those who carried out this scam will be punished. The SkyTrain, $2 million, must be retrieved. Ejapa, $12 million, must be retrieved. The Sputnik, $2.4 million with that shonky shake, must be retrieved. The $58.1 million spent on the world's most expensive pit, President Akufo-Addo's cathedral, there ought to be retrievals and sanctions. The Buankra scandal, $49 million, there ought to be accountability. And the list goes on and on and on. And look, Doc, if you consider the current plight of the Ghanaian, I mean, Doc, are you really listening to Ghanaians? Sometimes some of the people who walk up to you for support, the school fees are up. I can't. Have to help. Are you looking at the number of job losses? Doc, have you counted the number of multinationals, companies that are leaving Ghana? From Nivea to portions of Nestle's production to Glovo, name them. They are living in droves. Already, when the last population and housing census was carried out, unemployment rate is at an all-time high. We haven't seen it at 14.7% before. I mean, we thought 8% was high the last time the population and housing census was conducted. So there are massive job losses. People are living in abject poverty. Many people have fallen into the poverty line. And I'm happy that one of the things President Mahama says he will not protect is how thousands to millions have been pushed into the poverty bracket. That is the legacy of Akufo. So, it is now a double whammy. You are being hit with the effect of the economic mismanagement. See where the cedi is. I was reading a Bloomberg report yesterday. Bloomberg says that since they started monitoring our currency, since 1994, this is the worst performance of the cedi. That for 22 trading seasons, this is the worst performance. That's what Bloomberg is reporting yesterday. So, double whammy. You are being hit with economic mismanagement, high unemployment. People are suffocating. They are suffering, excruciating hardship. And then to make matters worse, The managers of the economy who have plunged us into this mess. On a daily basis, you just hear of new amounts of money, new figures. I mean, colossal sums. Look, if, let's say, some $100,000 for this Poalogo thing, maybe their airfares, initial negotiations, some refreshments, a few people going back and forth, probably the cost of the pomp and pageantry sword cutting, because I know that President Akufo-Addo likes to live large. We can manage with some 100,000, some 200,000. You let me even push it to $500,000. $11 million. $11 million. And as we speak, we are still losing more money. Only yesterday, the Millennium Challenge account, they confirmed to Joy News that they are packing out of Ghana. That there is no way they are changing their mind on the $190 million, which should have come in. I mean, the irony, our colleagues on the MPP side have signed an emergency recall of the House so that we'll come and approve a loan of $150 million. Meanwhile, by their conduct, we have just lost $190 million because of PDS corruption. Fight over who takes the lion's share. Eti Ebeko Gold and Kokona. And we had all the secret recordings, the leaked tapes, how relatives of this president, his assigns, were in negotiations with the PDS shareholders about their share, once it will not be what they want. So greed and corruption. And this Millennium Challenge, compact, President Kufuor did it very well. Brought Anna to Ghana. We got the N1 road. President Mills came, did it very well. We got a Greek irrigation project, largely in my constituency, the Togome irrigation project. It was used for a Greek. And if you read Kwame Nkrumah's 7-year development plan, that enclave, the Accra Plains enclave, which covers my constituency all the way to Sege, Ada, was supposed to be the bread basket, if you add Afram Plains. Bread basket for even West Africa. Visionary Mills negotiated for that, executed successfully. President Mahama continues. He negotiates for energy because line losses, we can't continue with 30% of losses at ECG. So, private participation, efficiency, so that we end this doomsday thing once and for all. Beautifully negotiated. He secured the money for us. So, look at how beautiful the relay has been. President Kufuor executes well. Professor Mills executes well. President Mahama executes well. Only President Akufo-Addo, only him. President Akufo-Addo comes, we've lost $190 million. And yet, they are disturbing us. We should come to Parliament and come and approve $150 million loan. And more loans. And you look at the loans. Look at the loan report. Now, any amount, we are going for $2 million, $3 million, $4 million.
I'm sure
they are not ashamed.
I'm sure one of the questions that Nana Kumia will ask you, I know so because it's his whatever, is that how are you using parliamentary oversight? Okay. I'll wait for you. Let me not take.
So you want me to respond now, or you want him to ask? Then I come and respond.
I want him to ask the way he wants to ask it, and then you will deal with it.
All right, no problem.
But Makojo Boafu is watching us from the US as an interesting perspective today. He says that simple corporate governance and accountability in public works execution requires that before work certificates are honored with any payment, some kind of verification of works done or services rendered must have been conducted. And so for any such final payment to be made in that high quantum, work would long have been ascertained to have been fully executed, whereby at the time of final payment, contractual issues like defect liability and variations will be addressed and factored in. It beats my imagination that these blatant infractions leading to gross robberies have been perpetuated on the people of Ghana. This is the very lowest ebb to which Ghana has ever sunk. The response of the auditor is even more annoying than the governor not answering the question.
Let me start with the Polugu Dam.
Yes.
I think that's what occasioned the discussion.
Right.
And you are ending on that with the input from our friend in America.
Yes.
Okay, so when you play the footage, and there was an impression, the member of parliament said $11 million have been paid. He hasn't seen any work on the ground.
I think he was reading from the Auditor General's report.
Yes, okay. And then the governor said the monies were paid by the monies were authorized by the Comptroller and Accountant General. So I would have wished, well, the footage didn't end at the point, but I would have wished that immediately, with these sums of monies, and with the governor of the Bank of Ghana admitting to the payment and saying that he doesn't know much about the work on the ground for the payment, but the payments were requested by the comptroller. With that testimony, I would have wished that the chairman of the committee would have adjourned proceedings of the committee for an hour or two and summoned the comptroller and accountant general to show that if that office authorized the payment, they could provide some information, because this was the sums of money involved are huge, and this was a live event. And as I sit here, I'm wondering if indeed payment was authorized by the comptroller, and from the footage it looks like there wasn't much work done. The member of parliament has stated there was no work done. The Bank of Ghana admits the payment. He says he doesn't know if any work has been done. He's the comptroller. So that's what I would have done. If I was the chairman, I'd say let's suspend proceedings for an hour or two. Let's get a comptroller to come and clarify this matter. But that didn't happen. But I got an input from one of the committee members on this matter. And he says that the state contracted a company to construct the Polugu irrigation project. The cost of the project was about $250 million. Now, the contractor applied for 5% mobilization, backed by a bank guarantee. Now, the 5% mobilization forms part of the preliminaries in the contract, at which time you literally will not see anything on the site. But that does not mean that the contractor is not mobilized. That insurance, cost of payment guarantees, vehicles, etc., they all form part of the preliminaries. Now, the project, that's the irrigation, the Polugu, has stalled because for the irrigation scheme to be built, the Polugu Dam must be completed. But unfortunately, the dam itself had stalled because of funding when COVID struck. And he said that is why you will see a payment to the contractor, but not much work on the ground. He says the irrigation scheme can be carried out, but it will be most optimized if the dam itself that will supply the water is complete. So the two projects would go in tandem. But unfortunately, the dam has stalled because of the funding problem.
This message doesn't help matters at all.
No, it's okay. I haven't finished. So this, your colleague says that we are jumping the gun. We need to know what has happened to the project, what activities were certificated for payment. And so in the absence of fuller information, it's unfair and premature to start raising suspicions about corruption. And it says that the Navrongo Central MP says that whenever he drives past Polugu, he doesn't see anything. Now the project goes beyond the roadside or what you see along the road. such a project involves a lot of off-site activity and soft stroke intangible works. And it concludes that mobilization, as the word implies, is basically paid to contractors to mobilize to the site. And under this Paul Lugu project, the mobilization was not paid in full. The government couldn't pay all, and that also affected the progress of work. The Greek Committee of Parliament was there in 2022. Aside the payment challenges, there are plans to resettle communities that will be affected by the irrigation project and so on. So this is what. But for me,
are you saying that this person is a member of the Public Accounts Committee?
Yes. But for me, like I said,
so if he's saying that the dam project must precede the irrigation project, why are we paying for the irrigation project?
He's offering an explanation for the money. He says, from what I get, he says the money is for mobilization, and it's supposed to be a percentage of the and so on. But when he was listing the mobilization, he mentioned fiscal items like cars. Where are the cars? So it's contradicting.
But there was something interesting about his text.
You can't see mobilization.
His text suggests that there are two separate projects.
The dam and the irrigation.
But one is dependent on the other.
Yeah.
So for the dam, for the irrigation project to be successful, the dam should first be constructed.
Yeah.
That's the point he's making.
Yeah.
And that he
or
says
at least the two should be in tandem.
Okay.
Because you want to finish one completely, then you're going to start another one.
But somebody took the decision that we should pay this money as mobilization for somebody to go on site.
For the irrigation.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Somebody took that decision.
Yeah. But I'm saying, so for me, like I said, the control, according to the governor, the comptroller authorized the payment. So for the comptroller to authorize the payment, he must have something in front of him that made him take the decision. And if we had gotten the comptroller, I don't know, was it yesterday?
I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll continue today. Maybe today they can get hold of the comptroller. I would have stopped proceedings immediately and asked that the comptroller be elected and brought to provide clarification. But we don't see that from the footage. But I'm sure today the comptroller will be there to tell the committee the basis of the authorization of the $11 million. And then we'll see.
If we don't get the rest of the money, the 11 million is gone down the
now, well, let it come true. Because, I mean, you can't let it go down the drain. The Bank of Ghana, the governor himself has said that, yes, the payments were done. The payments were authorized by no less a person than the comptroller. So let's get a comptroller, and then let's see if the proper justification can be offered. Now to my question. To Sami Kujato.
I'm ready for it.
So,
Nana, just a minute before you ask the question. So if the comptroller comes and says that, just like your friend sent you that,
it's preliminaries,
that the contract had 5% mobilization for preliminaries, and so there was a justification for that payment to be made.
And they said there was according to they said there was a guarantee.
Yes,
there's a bank guarantee. But let them come and let him offer his explanation. Then let's take it up from there.
All right. Okay. So
now, Sami said there's a $2 million. Payment made for SkyTrain.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen the SkyTrain.
Is that the one they took the money from that fund?
Yes.
The investment fund.
GIF.
Yeah, GIF.
Yes.
The Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. And then there was some money spent over
Sputnik.
Ejapa,
$12 million.
Sputnik is which one?
Sputnik, the COVID vaccine.
The one they had a parliamentary committee.
From Russia.
Where the minister said he wasn't.
Ajimamenu. Yes. Yeah. And then
when you authorized it.
And
but the vaccine came, I didn't come.
And the vaccine is from Russia.
It
decides to deal with middlemen, sheikhs from Dubai. When you could have dealt directly as a government. The ambassador told us. I went to see the ambassador with Honorable Akando.
These things.
In fact, they even issued a statement.
These things.
Recently, the Honorable Defa Makbo also made a disclosure about some money that we also have with one of those, whether it's a UN agency or WHO group, for some medications. We have some money that we've left there.
Yes, yeah. With,
I don't know
WHO.
why.
And then, I'm still looking for the ECOWAS $200,000 that
Which money is
they
that?
donated for the flood victims. I intercepted documents from ECOWAS. Ghana applied for support from ECOWAS.
You mean this spillage?
Yes, spillage, yes. ECOWAS donated $200,000.
Oh, okay.
I'm still looking for the money.
But since last week, you haven't gotten in touch with the minister and all the things we talked about at your point. Anyway, it looks just a small. It looks like we public officials charged with a project, we like middlemen power. Because you remember
especially when they dress like sheikhs.
Exactly. Yeah. Because Randy, you remember Ameri, the power plant business. Now is the Kumasi. They are married to one of the major controversies that was raised about Ameri was that we didn't go to General Electric, which manufactured the plants, and then the plant itself that we went for was owned by a great company called Mecta. But then,
that's the sheikhs with the Sheikh Maktoum. The Russians say they are still looking for him. They don't know him.
The Russians themselves cannot find him.
They can't find him.
Then how can you find him? But
oh my goodness.
No, there seems to be a preference for middlemen.
If you don't have money, if you don't have the money to buy, and you are looking for somebody with a financial capacity to do the transaction for you, that might make sense. Okay. But when you have the money, when you have the money to buy, why will you do that?
Yeah. You have an embassy here. You can walk to the embassy.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's an aside. Now, my question is, so there's $2 million paid from the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund for a SkyTrain project.
Yeah.
That has not happened.
Yes.
There's some monies that you say were paid for Ejapa.
$12 million.
Office facilities and so on.
There's National Cathedral, $58.1 million.
In fact, the SkyTrain, the Auditor General's report says that the company that was dealt with, they didn't even have the certification.
Yes, they didn't.
So what was the due diligence that was even done before $2 million was given to them?
But you see, that's more the reason why I'm saying that. Because I have always said to you that the institution with oversight responsibility for public funds is Parliament.
Yes.
Not the executive.
Yeah.
And in fact, Parliament has the oversight because it's the executive that is spending. Mm-hmm. We have always lamented about the inability of Parliament to deal with the executive as far as their oversight of the public money is concerned. And we have said that it's always because Parliament has been weak in terms of the power structure in Parliament. That you have always had the party controlling the executive also having a majority, a vast working majority in Parliament. So it limits the ability of Parliament to perform the oversight over the public funds of Ghana. And that God being good in this Parliament, that weakness in Parliament is gone because you have the numbers being equal. And more importantly, you have the Speaker of Parliament who's vested with the powers of Parliament coming from the minority. So you have this issue about $2 million that has been paid for a SkyTrain project. And you have monies that have been spent over Ejapa, which we assume that is defunct. We are talking about Polugu now, simply because one MP raised the matter at a hearing.
Yep.
One MP raised the matter at a hearing. And all of us are now seized with the matter. And we believe that the proper officials who authorize the payments would be brought and we'll get to the bottom of it. One MP at a hearing. So when you have the forces of parliament now balanced, in fact, it's tilted.
I'm told the money is with WHO, $80 million.
Which one is that?
The money we have there that we have not gone to chase.
Which one?
With the WHO. The one I said that the Honorable Defama wrote about. Yeah. One of our viewers has sent me. This is WHO.
Mm-hmm. They are supposed to give us dash us some money?
No. So medicines. I think we made payments. Yeah. And so we need to go for that.
Yeah. The vaccines?
Yeah. Not the COVID vaccines. I think
as for WHO, they will pay us. I mean, this is a United Nations organization.
No, it looks like we are not even interested in going to chase the money.
Yeah. The really?
Money remember that recently they even sent us drugs. Which includes even very sensitive drugs for snake bites and all of that. Which were abandoned at the port for several months. You remember?
Randy, just a single question from a member of parliament that we've paid 18 billion to WHO. We don't seem to have the drugs. Minister, where's the money or where's the drugs? One single question, which definitely will be admitted by the speaker. We seem to be like the parliament of 2001 or 2009. Same. That's where my disappointment comes from. So this 2 million SkyTrain money, that not one member of parliament, if the majority won't do it because maybe they understand it, the minority, not one member, can file a simple question to the relevant ministry that this 2 million, one, have you paid 2 million to SkyTrain? What was the basis of the payment? What has happened to it? Just one question. 3 years down the line, 4 years down, we can't.
So the questions have been asked. I remember that Honorable Jogate even came to explain himself, what his role was, who we should ask and all that.
They've all been passing the back. Amewu also passed the back. That happened before he came.
How can Parliament allow a minister on the floor to pass the back? But if they are going to pass the back, hold a hearing like this, committee. Yes.
Parliamentary committee.
Committee. Because you have the power.
But Sputnik, we held that committee, but our money is still there. Sputnik.
But that's what you said. The minister came to cry that it was a mistake.
Yes.
But that's what the money is still
there. He said he was so stressed, so he couldn't think.
Yeah, but at least there was a committee, and the minister came to admit. And so, but the committee could have decided.
Sheikh Maktoum has not refunded our $2.4 million.
The people of Insutem.
He seems to be your friend.
The people of Insutem.
I can't believe how one sheikh.
It's okay. I'm saying.
The people of Insutem.
Yeah.
In the eastern region.
Yes. Fantiakwa.
They have a saying that the Utu Okrafu.
Now tomorrow. Yeah. So what is the?
Call Bema.
Not true. They, I'm sure they will tell you that, like the message that I got from the ADA, they will tell you that things are on course.
But this message,
yes, I'm saying. But it says it's mobilization. How do you get to the truth? Right? You see, that is it, because I mean the people we politicians.
So can he tell us where the cars are parked? He said they bought some cars. Mobilization.
I think he was just speaking in general terms about what it will be for.
Listen, I will give you his name and then you go and ask him.
Okay.
Because I also need to know where the cars are. But the fundamental issue that is affecting our democracy in terms of delivering accountability and probity is being lost. And so we have had, like it used to happen, accusations and counter. Look, I remember in the second parliament, there were 63. 1997 to 2000. There were 63 members of the minority. And there were 133 members of the majority. You have this elder, in fact, he was the oldest member of parliament at that time. J.H. Mensah. I was the youngest. So I was his opposite. Myself and Sly Mensah. But J.H. Mensah, the kind of probity and accountability, even with those numbers, the impact that he made, I think back to that time. Even before the 1997 to 2000 parliament, in the parliament of 1993 to 1996, the first parliament, Hawa Yakubu, one single woman, she will come out of parliament and hold a press conference on the corridor and make the issues public issues. One single woman. Now you have a situation where the minority is not a third of the house or one single woman. They are half. And you have the speaker.
They are holding press conferences every day. They are getting some parliamentary committees. Some.
You see, listen.
Some of us have even
it's not about press conference. Everybody can hold press conference. Because you hold your press conference, you talk your story. Me too, I talk my story. Where is the accountability? There has to be a force that can prove to get accountability.
So where are the independent?
Now you see,
where are the independent anti-corruption
to illustrate,
agencies, Nana?
But they are agencies.
Assuming that these guys are playing politics. I thought the reason, because the last time we were here and then I was talking about how unfathomable it is to see two agencies in the electricity sector trading accusations when our issue is about delivering electricity for us.
Yeah.
Now, last week, what did we see? 3 anti-corruption agencies trading accusations.
Yeah.
I've never seen some before in my life.
On the Cecilia
Dapa's issue. Attorney General says this. Ioko says this. OSP says this. The agencies that are supposed to collaborate.
But Randy, I'm saying, and you agree, that the Constitution of Ghana vests the oversight over public monies in Parliament. And what we are speaking today, why are we speaking about it? Because
a parliamentary committee.
Yes. Why hasn't the public accounts brought all the people to come and answer about SkyTrain? Why hasn't the public accounts brought all the people involved to talk about Ijapa? You see, so for me, you need to move beyond the trading of accusations. Because as for that one, you say yours, I say mine. We'll talk about it until the next event comes. But there's rare power that can get to the bottom of these matters. So I'm a little disappointed that if this parliament, and I remember the J.H. Mensah parliament, just 61 people. And the impact was so good that in one election, the NPP moved from 61 to 800. It's a massive development. From 61, I mean, we're 63 because two members of the CPP are joined, but the NPP actually was 61. And we moved from 61 to 800 in one election because of the effective leadership provided. So when now that the numbers are balanced and the speaker is from the minority, it's like the Public Accounts Committee. The chairman of that committee and the majority of members on that committee are from the minority. It was designed by the Constitution to be the spearhead of accountability by Parliament. Now the entire Parliament can be likened to the Public Accounts Committee because the Speaker of Parliament is from the minority. And yet, you have these lingering issues. Say 2 million, SkyTrain. We'll talk about it. And then we go, then Japan, then talk about it.
But Anna, shouldn't the executive who we voted for, who've taken our $2 million and given it to somebody for a SkyTrain, be telling us what has happened to the money?
Now, if they haven't told you,
yes,
because they believe that they are acting in your best interest, and you believe they are not acting in your best interest, because you haven't seen the SkyTrain, how should that matter be resolved? They should be brought to accountability. The parliament should stand for you and for the executive and say, because you and I, we can talk about it on this platform. This your platform goes everywhere. But that's all that it does. But it's the parliament that can summon the board or the director of the Ghana Investment Fund and the railway minister. Parliament can summon all of these parties and have a live telecast and say, tell us about the SkyTrain. Tell us about the money.
So that's what I'm telling you, that if you take the case of Sputnik, Parliament did that. That's how come the minister was able to tell us that he was under
The minister said he admitted the mistake.
Thinking,
yes, but then Parliament, what did Parliament do? I think they laughed at him and let him go.
No, Parliament, there's a report recommending his removal, that there should be a vote of censure. They submitted,
but of course, they won't get a vote.
But now he's no more the minister, so we need the money. We need the money retrieved.
You mean?
And there's only the executive.
No. There was a consensus report.
Yes.
That the minister should resign.
Should be removed from office. That he should face a vote of censure.
And that wasn't done.
Until he was reshuffled.
But you see, it reinforces my point. So.
But a minority cannot do the vote of censure. They don't have the numbers.
You need to test.
Chief, but you say that there was a consensus report that this should be done. I can imagine if the speaker doesn't move on it. Normally that's what happens. The speaker doesn't move on it. I remember when this very first parliament that we're talking about, there was a report that the head of state at that time had taken some monies from Nigeria.
Yeah, the Sani Abacha matter.
And we thought that that matter affected the integrity of Ghana, that the Ghanaian president, is being reported in international media, that the Ghanaian president had taken some money from Nigeria. What for? And the minority at that time wanted to bring the matter to Parliament. The speaker said, no, these are rumors. The speaker embodies the power of Parliament. So if the speaker is not on your side, I can imagine your frustration. The speaker at that time said this matter is some newspaper reports. He's not going to have it come to Parliament. Because the motion was that the Parliament should pass a resolution or Parliament should investigate the matter. And so it went on and on and on because the speaker wouldn't allow it. And then the minority came with some background thing that the Parliament should review the decision of the speaker. And then all the arguments. That was the day that there was a fight in Parliament. But I'm saying, here you have a situation where a report has been generated by consensus that there should be a motion of censure. The only thing that can stop that motion is the speaker not admitting it. Because if there's a motion of censure and it's a secret ballot, and even the minister won, because before that motion, there's going to be a whole debate about the conduct of the minister. And even if the minister won, and in this parliament, that's why the things that the minorities say. But the one that they say they will fight, that's when they go and give in. I've never seen it before. And that's one of the reasons why the son of mine himself had to leave.
So you now know the reasons?
I imagine. Because I've never...
For the record, I've never disclosed to Nana why I resigned. Just for the record.
I have not said that is what you have told me. I've said that this is what because you have steadfastly refused to tell us why. So I'm just having an intelligent So I'm saying that here's a situation where Parliament has the power. That power has not been effective because of the structure of Parliament since 1993. Fortunately for the country, you have a situation where Parliament is now, let's say, controlled by the minority. So the entire Parliament now is like the Public Accounts Committee. We should be getting much more
than what we're
getting. Then we get it because these raising issues, we used to raise issues when we were 61, and they will brush it aside. We used to raise issues when we were 61. Now it shouldn't be just raising the issues. So it's and then my second point is that Samuel Kujeto says that the record of Akufo-Addo, the legacy of Akufo-Addo is bad. We talked about all of this. But if the record of Akufo-Addo is bad, John Mahama's record too is bad. You can't run away from it. Even if we limit ourselves to just dealing with the treatment of the public purse. Take corruption. We had JIDA. The JIDA corruption scandal. We had the SADA. The famous are confirmed and all of that. Bas Branding, the Ford, Saglemi, the tree planting, Sipton Switch, Suba Info Systems. Plenty. In fact, one prominent politician of the NDC from the north said that because of the corruption under John Mahama's presidency, he did not think that another Northerner was going to be president in the next 20 years because of the corruption that had attended upon John Mahama's presidency.
Are you referring to Mati Amedu?
Yes.
Okay.
So, if you say Akufo-Addo's record is bad, in this case, like I said, because of the balance of forces in Parliament, you have the power and the opportunity to hold Akufo-Addo's feet to the fire. You haven't done that. What you do is you take a private decision to resign. But if that's what you want to tell, and you say that it's a legacy, the alternative cannot be John Mahama. Because his legacy is also atrocious. So this business about touting him as the person to come and give us some better government will not wash. It's not true. His record is there. Don't come and fight.
So let me ask you a question.
Anyway,
For the 7.5 years that you have been in power, what have you done about all these alleged acts of corruption that you have enumerated? Because you enumerated all those things prior to the 2016 elections. And you told Ghanaians...
Which one? All of
the things you mentioned, all those things. Now, now...
Let me mention them again. Now, you finish.
Now, you were given the opportunity to govern. For the 7.5 years that you've been in power, what have you done about all these things that
It's a legitimate question. And if you are going to talk about some of the omissions of this government, I would say these are some of the omissions of the government. But be that as it may, just 3-4 weeks ago, we saw the results of an effort by government. Is it a Maslock? Is it Maslock? The lady?
Yes.
Ali's government has successfully prosecuted that matter. The current minority leader is in court. Our court processes take long. Even this Maslock thing, straightforward matter, took 4 years. But as we speak, the minority leader himself is being taken through legal processes for alleged corruption.
That doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean?
It doesn't mean anything. The fact that he's before court doesn't mean he's guilty of any crime.
Have I said he's guilty?
No, I'm saying that because you're citing that example within the context.
Yeah, but we are talking about fighting corruption.
Yes.
And I'm saying, I'm giving you instances where I have told you that I believe it should be more, both now and before.
When I say now, what do you mean?
Oh, some of these issues that have been...
you mean things that are
yes,
happening
now and before. Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Corruption is not a time-bound thing. Yeah. And I've said to you that if you ask me about some of the omissions of this government, some of these issues that are still working about, I would mention them as one of the omissions of the government. But be that as it may, you would agree that some effort is being made. And I've given you, and I'm giving you the examples, that in one case just a couple of weeks ago, we saw the successful prosecution. And as we speak, no less a person than the current minority leader is also being taken through legal processes for alleged corruption. We've also had cases where people, I think it's a national insurance, was it national insurance or national something?
Communications or
NCA. We also prosecute
for procurement breaches.
For procurement breaches and so on. No, not procurement breaches.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
For corruption.
I think that had to do with the board chair.
We saw monies that were lodged in people's accounts and so on.
I'm saying that had to do with the board chair.
Yes, but it's part of
that.
So beyond
not the only person was
beyond the procurement, there were cases where monies have actually been stolen. But I'm saying that is not enough. That we should be doing a lot more. But the president himself said he's doing his best.
Who?
The president himself, he said he's doing his best.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know the Sputnik one we're just discussing?
Yeah.
When he went to the minister's hometown, you saw how he trivialized the issue and made a joke out of it?
Yeah.
That Ghana for Omo Pai Pai and Asumu said, yes. That's his best.
When the president
really
spoke,
doing his best.
Listen, when the president spoke, he told you the laws that have come into place, the offices that have come into place. They said he's a clearing agent. He explained that it's not justified. And so what I'm saying is, he also feels he's doing his best. We can agree, or you can have the opinion that the best is not enough. No problem. But at least
I'll give you just one example to buttress that. Just one example.
No, I'm saying to you that if you ask me,
not an example of an act of corruption.
But what?
When the president was justifying the need for the office of special prosecutor, one of the key things he said was that people have the opinion, and they always say that you are unable to deal with your own because of the AG and being part of cabinet and all that. And that is one of the key reasons why we need the office of special prosecutor. However, under his tenure, anytime there's an issue about an official of his government, it is not referred. Anytime his government decides to refer anything to any agency to investigate, it does not rely on the OSP.
Who does it rely on?
The police CID or some other body. And I always, anytime that happens, I play back that key justification for the setting up of the office of the OSP.
Because the CID might be handicapped in prosecuting sitting officials. That's what you are saying. But
he said it.
Yes. No, so you thought it would be best if he referred this matter.
No, on the basis of a justification he even made.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yes.
I'm agreeing. So you in your thinking, because of that justification for the OSP, it would have been best if he referred these matters to the OSP.
Would have been walking the talk.
Yes. I don't have a problem with that opinion. But the OSP, do they need the office as set up? Does it need a referral from somebody?
No. But when another agency is seized with a matter, then it becomes a problem. So if you recall, the ANAS and the mining thing he did, he did some expose.
Okay.
You realize that when he finished, he petitioned the OSP. And then government, through the ministry, then also invited the police CID. Then the police CID invited him, and he said that he the person who did that, he referred to the OSP. And so there's no way he can deal with it. And the anti-corruption coalition and all that raised that issue.
Okay.
That if the OSP sees with the matter, why would you refer the issue to another and have a parallel investigation on the issue?
Yeah.
And true, when the CID finished the report, they indicated that the person who did the expose, they did not cooperate with them because he said he had already petitioned.
Yeah.
So they issued a report minus the input of that person.
So the point, your point is that the fight against corruption can be better. That's your point.
Oh, I want to use those words.
No, if you use those words, I agree with you. Because I've told you already that if you ask me, one of the omissions of this government, all these cases that are begging for investigation, I'll point it at one of the omissions of the government. So I don't have a problem. But my point bears repeating that if you say that there's some legacy of Akufo-Addo and it's a bad legacy, and you are calling on Ghanaians that Mahama's legacy too is bad. And so he cannot be the alternative.
Doc, so let me respond to Nana Komia's
Okay,
concern.
we need to take a quick break.
All right.
I have the lawyer Eduji Tamaklu.
Yeah,
he sends
my
me
friend.
this text. He says, kindly tell Nana Komia that there is no charge of corruption as an offense against the minority leader. At least I'm his counsel.
So what is he in court for? What is the minority?
No, it has nothing to do with corruption.
I'm sure he can send us. I'm sure he can send us those charges.
So what is he in court? He should tell us though. He's in court for maybe breaking
procurement law.
Procurement.
All right. We'll be back shortly.
I intercepted documents from ECOWAS.
Yes, sir. Chairman, I'm not happy with the response from the auditors because as part of the audit, they simply don't verify payment regularities. They do in-situ inspection of projects. So yes, you may be at the headquarters, but the regional officers who are closer to the project could have gone to site to ascertain that not merely paying for the project on paper, but the project has actually been delivered. So that's my first follow-up. My second one is the Pualugu irrigation project is different from the Pualugu multi-purpose dam. So I want to find out that this payment is not in respect of the dam, but it's actually the irrigation which serves farmers.
The Russians, they're still looking for him. They don't know him. The Russians themselves cannot find him.
It's the auditors. They saw the documents. Because the governor actually clarified that it's the auditors. I think the auditors are supposed to. Yes. So they should be speaking to the document, the nature of the documents that they saw. Otherwise, the chairman, I seek your leave to demand that the documents based upon which these payments was made should be furnished. We should be furnished a copy of the set of documents for purposes of further interrogation of this matter.
I think the auditors could review it and then give us an update on which one it is. And since it says final payment, they could give the information back to us on what was done. But, Mr. Governor, let's go to page.
Yes,
Fortune rice. It's me emu ediane biara. Yansu kakre bipe. Emu no nkikamu. Na ne hwam ne dedie. Delicious. Said your mama tie no pepepe.
Ya the Fortune emopa abedwaso. Ghana mo a ede. Ma emu ediane nyina.
FDA aje ejedi enkrato yatum. Jeden jama washing powder fufu na. Wodi nra horo a ebo ma yi nkikaya asoro no adi.
Eyesha. Emma wonsa ho nhihyew. Ena epu ehuro nsu yi. Eyi nkikaya nkasa.
Oh, I see today.
The Jamal washing powder for furnace sachets akesi enum aba. Eyi nkikaya nkasa.
Anima.
For Jamal washing powder, bottle 30. Can you ma ode beji aware?
Hey.
New Jamal washing powder. Emanya meniti. Ne musu ye hwam. Wo ho kafo a o ma won tade niti. FDA aje edwede nkrato yatum.
Rise and shine. It's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still on point.
It's creamy.
For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to elbowthousand.com.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with your front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Baby, a Samuel will be here. Now, so Yadi Sapa, a don't
spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bar Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bar Herbal Hospital.
Fortune rice. It's me emu ediane biara. Yansu kakre bipe. Emu no nkikamu. Na ne hwam ne dedie. Delicious. Said your mama tie no pepepe.
Ya the Fortune emopa abedwaso. Ghana mo a ede. Ma emu ediane nyina.
FDA aje ejedi enkrato yatum.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Story me, I have Nana Akumi and Samuel Kujato Blackwa. But what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, us got the Mola, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games, more mola, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority. It's not for persons under 18. Play responsibly. Ayesoko. Dakosombo down be big, but Betway's cash out be bigger. Betway is giving you more control over every thrilling bet you place. Enjoy the biggest and most reliable cash out in Ghana on Betway without any hassle. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more. And Blue Jeans energy drink has been on the Ghanaian market for over 20 years. We already know what it does for the body. It contains vitamins and nutrients like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy, as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Jeans energy drink has been tested and tried. It's indeed the best. Blue Jeans energy drink is for bold and active men and women. So go on, grab a cold can and power your day. It's in shops nationwide. You can reach Budget Cash and Carry Limited on 0208 128 190 055 001 0000. Sorry.
So, Doc, Nana Komia's perspective on this matter, to be very honest with you, is akin to the one who says that let us not blame the person who opened the stable for the horses to bolt in the first place. Mm-hmm. Let us rather focus attention on the folks out there who failed to apprehend the horses when they have already bolted from the stable. You see,
I'm saying that. The one who you claimed let the horses bolt, mm-hmm. he has a supervisor. And if the supervisor agrees that the stable keeper is not doing his or her work well, the supervisor should bring him into account.
No problem.
For all you know, the stable keeper doesn't even know that he's letting the horses bolt.
That is even dangerous. It is more scandalous that you don't know that we've lost $58.1 million in the National Cathedral project. You don't know that we have lost $2.4 million to a shonky Sheikh Mark II, who is not from Russia, who is not from Russia but Dubai, who had nothing to do with the invention of the Sputnik V vaccine for COVID. The owner of the stable doesn't know that $11 million has been lost in the Pualugu matter, $12 million on a Japan, $190 million gone under the Millennium Challenge Compact. That is even scary. It's a more frightening proposition to me. I am scared to death by that proposition. Look, let's be clear and honest. The buck stops with the leader. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is in charge of the executive. He is in charge of our national resources. What were some of the profound statements he made when he was seeking our mandate? One, I will protect the public purse. President Akufo-Addo repeated this in his inaugural address, albeit a heavily plagiarized address. Let's forget about the plagiarism. But at least the few lines that were his in that speech, he said he will protect the public purse. He didn't say he will count on the parliament, or he hopes that we get a hung parliament to help catch the horses when they have bolted. Another profound statement the president made, which I cannot forget. Profound statement. He said he has advised his men and women that if their intention is to make money, they shouldn't come into his government. They should go to the private sector. That is where money is made. Profound statement. I don't think that any of our presidents in the Fourth Republic have made such profound anti-corruption statements. Profound. Insightful. Incisive. Very thought-provoking. And you will say that, look, it's the crux of the matter. If you are not coming to public service to serve the people, to better their lot, to improve their welfare, and it's just about making money for yourself, then don't come. You have no business taking that public oath. So President Akufo-Addo says that he has told his men, I don't know where he met them, and informed them. I'm sure Nana Kumia was sitting on the front pew, He came to tell us. We as we were not in the meeting.
You don't know where he met his men.
I don't know. Yes, I don't know where he met his men. Whether it was his Nima residence or at Pediasi. He said that. Look, he's met them and told them. Also, as he only came to announce to us, I can imagine how stern he was. And when Nana Akufo-Addo decides to be stern, we've seen what he's doing to the chief. With his left hand. Hey, get up, national anthem. I'm coming to greet. Get up. So he can be stern. He told us that he met his men and told them that if you want to make money, don't come into my government. Go into the private sector. Profound statement. Another profound statement he made. He says, the era of soul sourcing is coming to an end. The era of soul sourcing. Today, there's an Auditor General's report on cocoa board, our cocoa sector, which says that 87%, in an unprecedented development, 87% of all cocoa road projects are single source, and they are inflated by as much as 3 times. And the Vice President's brother is at the center of it. They're enjoying the soul sourcing after promising us that they will end the era of soul sourcing. Then, this is my favorite. Doc, this one is my favorite. President Akufo-Addo told us, I will institute the ANAS principle in the fight against corruption. ANAS principle. What is the rationale behind the ANAS principle? So, the ANAS principle is what you would describe as prevention is better than cure. So, using intelligence gathering. So, before your men and women decide to loot, to go and engage Sheikh Maktoum, who is not from Russia, is not linked to Sputnik V in any way, and comes to collect our $2.4 million, you will pick it up undercover. Because prevention is better than cure. President Akufo-Addo didn't tell us that he will come and count on a hung parliament, or he's hoping that there will be an NDC speaker of parliament. So, this attempt always, and it's been very consistent, let us, anytime there is corruption, there is looting, there is blatant graft, let us shift the discussion away from the real looters, those who have engaged in the looting, and go and be chasing some MPs somewhere who are not debating like J.H. Mensah or Hackman Osu-Ajiman or Kwame Nabatels of old. I will not fall for that. Now, having said that, I also recognize that we in Parliament have a duty because the whole principle of 3 arms of government, having a legislature, is for checks and balances. So when you have a very bad president who has made these profound statements and has failed, you don't say that, let's give up. You need to be forceful in trying to salvage what is left. And on that score, I agree with Nana that this parliament has to do more. Look, there are so many motions that are pending. For example, motion on the National Cathedral probe. You have a situation where almost a year now, the majority group, the MPP side, is refusing to submit names. The motion has been filed. Speaker admitted. We have had the debate. There was no objection that we need an inquiry into this monumental scandal. A resolution is passed by the House. It is just left with names to be submitted. Our names have been ready from that night. We submitted 4 names. Our colleagues on the other side, almost a year now, stalling the process.
But I mean, what you say, the example you give, does it not then fall in tandem with the point Nana makes? Mm-hmm. That look, in situations like this, you have the speaker.
Yes.
So if the speaker is supposed to be from your side.
Yes, and you expect that he will crack the whip.
Yes, and Parliament has decided that we need to set up a committee.
Yeah.
Both sides are supposed to provide members. Mm-hmm. The minorities provided membership. Mm-hmm. The majority has not provided membership for 1 year.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Even though I have been combing the standing orders, and such a situation, it appears that the standing orders does not anticipate, and so is silent on what should happen to the majority group and their leadership for failing to do that. I still hold the view.
But in the absence of a clear distinction, does the standing orders all provide for the speaker to then step in and give a ruling?
Yes, because the standing order says that in matters that are not provided for, that there is no clarity, the speaker has the authority to step in, and settle the issue. So I will expect, and we are going to be reminding the speaker, because all of this collectively does not help our image, even though in this case it is a majority group that is stonewalling and sabotaging the process. I mean, you take the Sputnik V probe, we had the probe, then it came to having the vote of censure. I don't know why that stayed on the order paper for many months. So there again, you can say that as an institution, we could have done better. So feedbacks like this should be taken in good faith, and we have a few months to regain the faith, because as of the executive, poll after poll, you can tell that it's probably the most mistrusted institution when you look at the polls, where many Ghanaians say that they've just lost confidence in the president's so-called war against corruption. He's become, the fulcrum around which corruption is thriving. Then, Doc, the fundamental discussion we must be having is that why is it that in this country the system appears to rather protect the corrupt?
Explain that.
Corruption is taking root, and corruption is thriving with impunity. And if you have observed, Doc, for many, many, many years, look, for more than 30 years, we can count only 2 presidents who made sure that the Attorney General they have appointed prosecuted their own. Only 2. President Kufuor with Malamisa, the sports minister, who was eventually jailed over Black Stars money that got lost. And then President Mahama, whose record is really unmatched in terms of what, and I don't want to remind the family of Abu Gapele and others, I don't want to do that. But his own people went to jail. His national service appointees were being prosecuted for padding the national service list. I can't recall whenever under this president, even when there are matters to be investigated. Look, I was so outraged when I read that resignation response that the president sent to Cecilia Dapa. Oh, you have accepted your resignation, my dear Cecilia Dapa. Don't worry. I know you'll be vindicated with time. It was like a love letter to like a loved one. Serious corruption matter. Millions of dollars found under a bed. The country is in uproar. There's an upheaval. People are outraged. People are livid. And then the president is saying that, oh, you will be vindicated. When all the anti-corruption institutions see that letter, are you surprised that now they are at each other's throat? Nothing has come out of it. So the question we must be asking ourselves is that, what kind of architecture is this? What kind of regime is this that those who engage in corruption feel so emboldened, are protected, and the only way you can have some accountability is when there's regime change. So now the fight against corruption is not fighting current corruption and corruption of your own, but it is fighting the corruption of your political opponents. And political opponents are hoping that one day when they get power, then they deal with the corruption that is happening now. I mean, what system is this? It is not in the national interest that this continues. It is a broken system. And it is a country that suffers. The hemorrhage will continue. And we will keep losing billions and billions and billions. And as I was pointing out, look at what we are losing to corruption. And then what we go and queue for, go and beg all these small boys running these small banks in Europe, cosmopolitan Europe and Asia, to come to our aid. $2 million, $3 million, $5 million. That we are broke country. And yet look at what we are losing to corruption. So I've been asking myself, see what happened last month in a number of countries. Only last month. In Peru, I don't know if you followed what happened in Peru. The president of Peru, Madame Dina Boluarte, on social media, Peruvians saw that she is wearing very expensive diamond Rolex watches. Suddenly, they've studied her. She was vice president before. That's not how she used to dress. Suddenly, they see she's come into so much wealth. It was trending on social media. The police asked her to report and account for those, because now social media, they then went on the Rolex website, saw the cost, and they looked at the salary of a president in Peru, that you can't afford this. So it became a big scandal. The youth were discussing it. The IGP invited her. She refused to go. The next day, the police raided her home. Can you believe that? When would this happen in Ghana? The sitting president, the Peruvian police raided her home. And they seized.
Find out how the IGP is.
Yes, how the IGP is appointed. Yes.
In Peru.
I mean, here we are in Ghana, the current IGP, people are even in court, Imani and others, about how IGPs cannot be removed, should be protected and all of that. Because there is a certain clout. There is some threat of his removal. How can he act? Then, let me move from Peru to South Africa.
Where is the threat of his removal?
You didn't follow the parliamentary hearings. That's all what it was about. The leaked tape. It was about how the IGP should be removed.
Who was threatening?
Who was but you let me, I'll come back to that. I don't want to lose my string of thought. Okay. So, see what happened in Peru. Let me come to South Africa. Only last month. I'm just citing recent examples. The South African Speaker of Parliament had to resign on corruption allegations when she served as defense minister. Speaker Nosive Mapisa Nkakula had to resign because investigations are going on.
Your time is up.
So
that's the watch.
Yes, that's the diamond watch. Her home was raided. When would such a thing happen in Ghana? Well, look, a speaker of the South African Parliament. In Ghana, if you are in office, you're untouchable. If you are linked to the ruling party, You're untouchable. Everybody is afraid of you. How can we win the corruption war this way? So that's a fundamental issue. We ought to go back to that. So those who are calling for an overhaul of the constitution, I support them. Because you have so much power in one person. If he decides that he won't act, he decides that he will shield people, protect people, that is it. There's nothing you can do. You can make a lot of noise. So as I conclude, no, it's important. You took a bash at former President Mahama. I need to conclude on that. Look, nobody has said that in the history of this country we've had perfect people or angels who have come to run this country. But talk to everybody. Look, only a few days ago, the anti-corruption journalist Manasseh put out a post on how they are struggling to get the KPMG report. A president who tells us that he's coming to fight corruption, use the ANAS principle. You will not put out an audit report. Why? Is it your money? It's our money. This is a public interest matter. Media Foundation for West Africa activates an RTI clause, seeks information. The presidency says they will not release the report. Manasseh is saying that when they were pursuing Jida, President Mahama released the full report to them. That is
after the white paper.
Yes, after the white paper. That is the example. That is the comparative analysis. Look, all the things he listed. Jida, you are aware that President Mahama ensured there were retrievals. You are aware. RLG and all those people paid back. The Attorney General was providing updates. Bas Brandon, you remember that there were retrievals. That $1 million, it was fully paid back. So when you are listing them, compare, look, that's why on the street. That's what
led to the resignation.
Yes, the Honorable Jafar Tivo resigned. And Ghana got its money back. I mean, how I wish that Ghana under Akufo-Addo will go back to what happened under Mahama, where we get our $58.1 million back on National Cathedral, $2.4 million back on Sputnik,
it's okay.
$11 million back on Palugu, $2 million back on Skytrade. Yes. We will not be complaining much, even if people will not be prosecuted.
Let me deal with.
So please, don't compare. It's like night and day.
Let me deal with. You're actually making my point, and I'll show you in 2 seconds. The IGP. Who's going to remove the IGP? I don't understand this matter.
Oh, you didn't follow the parliamentary process?
If some police officer believes the IGP is not doing their work
with an MPP regional chairman.
Chief, as we sit, if the president wants to remove the IGP, does he need a police officer to go and see somebody? I mean, Samuel Kujato. If that is the Constitution of Ghana vets the appointment of the IGP in the president. If President Akufo-Addo, for some reason, wants to remove the current IGP, does he need another police officer to go and talk to some chairman? In any case, Akufo-Addo has consistently been of praise for the current IGP. So what is this business about the aid? I agree, if we are going to look at a constitutional reform that would protect the IGP so that he can have more independence, I don't have a problem. But this business about going to remove the IGP, this government has no intention of removing the IGP. And you can demonstrate that. Now, he said we should blame the executive.
Yes.
I don't have a problem. Yes. He said, Akufo-Addo said, I'll protect the public purse. I don't have. He said that. We're all happy with that. Now, if Akufo-Addo has been given monies to spend, and he says you spend it wisely, and he doesn't spend it wisely, Parliament reserves the power of the purse. That's what I'm saying. You agree? I mean, the man has been voted monies by Parliament. He says, I'll spend it wisely. If in your view, he hasn't spent it wisely, the person who gave him the money has the power. That's what I'm saying. And that power should be exercised.
But I'm saying don't blame us alone. Start from the executive.
Randy, have
prevention is better than cure. Don't you agree?
No.
Prevention.
Please.
In class 1. Is that not what they taught?
You spoke. Listen, Sam, please. Have I done that? You have made lamentations. Me too. I have made lamentations. And I've said that these lamentations, where can it be resolved? We saw the present example of where Parliament is doing its work. We've seen the result. That's what I'm saying, that do more. Because now you have the opportunity and the power. That's what I'm saying. Now, he talks about...
So you won't advise your
now,
people.
what you are saying, just what I'm saying. You are saying that Akufo-Addo's legacy is bad. Mahama... I'm saying to you that Mahama's legacy too is bad. So he cannot be the alternative. You talk about Manasseh. Manasseh is talking about... We all respect Manasseh. But do you know what Manasseh said about Mahama? You want me to tell you? You said he says this about Akufo-Addo. Fine. Do you know what he says about Mahama? He says that in Mahama's time, corruption was legalized. That was normal. You talk about Jida, payback.
Yeah, Buzz Brandon. Yeah.
Because it was exposed by the same Manasseh. By the same Manasseh.
Yeah. So when will we get retrievals?
By the same Manasseh, it was exposed.
Yeah.
How about...
Under Mahama, we got our monies back.
Because it was exposed.
Yes,
we've also exposed he can't even get a common report.
They can't get the common reports. But as a result of his investigation, some action has been taken. Isn't it?
Which action?
Oh, the SML.
Yes.
It was because of Manasseh's investigation.
No, but which action?
Which action?
This
cosmetic stuff.
The president first asked an accounting auditing firm to investigate.
Yes.
Yes. And then they've brought their report. Yes. The president has acted on the report. What some people disagree with is that the report should be published.
How do we know that the president has really acted on the report?
But at least, as a result of Manasseh's investigation, some action has been taken. But I'm saying that beyond that, he said the same thing you are quoting him today about President Mahama. Manasseh said the same thing about President Mahama.
He's the one who's doing the comparative analysis.
Let me. This is President Mahama in September.
Which document is that?
I'm coming to it.
Okay.
In September 2012. Yes. When he gave the critical policy actions at the conference center.
Yeah, this was after.
I'm quoting him directly. We are determined to break the cycle of overspending in an election year. Strict instructions have gone out to all sectors against unbudgeted expenditure. Now, the man was speaking in September 2012. And he's talking about this, which is going to break the cycle of overspending an election year. In that year, the overspending, the deficit, was at record levels. He couldn't even keep to it. Because we don't have time, it pains me. Let me give you what he said about, I'll just cut straight to what he said about corruption. Because we don't have time. I was going to show you a lot more of what he said and then match it against the record. Now, this is what he says about corruption. As president, I am committed to running a transparent and accountable government, devoid of corruption. My government will ensure that taxes of Ghanaians, donor funds held in trust are used judiciously and effectively. All forms of corruption and wastage of public resources will be confronted by my government, from the payment of government monies to persons and institutions who do not deserve them, to the misuse of government assets, blah, blah, blah. And my government to work so as not to shirk its responsibilities in contexts where the private sector engages in all of that. Look at the corruption record of John Mahama. You say surveys now
nowhere near what's going on.
Worry about corruption. Surveys in John Mahama's time were worried about corruption. So I'm saying he cannot.
Yeah, from bad to worse.
Those are your words. I'm saying you are saying that somebody is bad. I'm saying Mahama is not an alternative. That's what I'm saying. Because his record, who's the alternative?
Yes.
But you know.
Who?
Bawumia.
Because
he doesn't have the record of John Mahama.
Which is what?
Because he has never been president.
Oh, that's what makes him the alternate.
Yes, that's what makes him the alternate. Okay. But you know this. Oh, that old man already.
It's good for a Friday laugh.
So the point is that if you say Akufo-Addo's government is bad, he hasn't protected the public purse, he hasn't fought corruption, he's written love letters to Cecilia Adapa, he's fine, he's done. I'm saying that
they didn't have to repeat that.
Oh yeah, it was a clear love letter, a romantic one.
Look, he talked about trivializing corruption because he wrote a love letter to Cecilia Adapa. Your own boss, the erudite Professor J. Nana Pukwajima, his speech that he gave, look at the way she trivialized corruption. She says that, what we are talking about now is like bicycles flying faster than a confirm. This a confirm matter. $9 million of public monies were thrown away in this a confirm venture. They are coming to sit here to trivialize.
Oh, retrieved.
Retrieved from who?
Retrieved from the people.
Well, not a person was retrieved. It was the G that money. So my point is that because you don't have to.
So why haven't you retrieved the money?
I have told you that if you're asking me about the omissions of this government, these are some of the things that I will list as omissions. But my point is that my point is very simple. That John Mahama cannot be the alternate.
He's our savior.
Because his record is bad.
Superior record.
And his record
is superior. Okay. You know that.
Just a minute.
And his record, let me end. The man is going to beat me. His record is so bad that he was rejected by the people of this country in 2016 by the record margin. Which you cannot deny.
So we need to go back. Today is the birthday of the former First Lady, Mrs. Nadu Mills. Today is her birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Today is the birthday of Mrs. Nadu Mills, former First Lady of the Republic of Ghana. So I'm happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. She's my neighbor. I have to go and look for her.
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. It's also the birthday of the former president of the Ghana Football Association, Nana Sam Butler. Yes, today is Nana Butler's birthday too. So happy birthday to you, Nana Sam Butler.
When are you going to talk about the GFA presidency?
No, I'm not interested.
But you contested?
Never. No, I have never.
But you should contest?
No, I won't. It's also the birthday of the Honorable Felix Kwachio Fosu.
Hey, they were in trouble today.
Today is Felix's birthday. So happy birthday. He's now permanently stationed at AAK. You can't even get him to come on shows. He's there
on the ground
24/7.
Yeah.
So, but I thought you posted
and he's doing some very great projects.
Happy birthday. I thought he said elections Coco is one. He should come and do it. I thought he said elections are done deal.
So the last time you come and sit in Accra,
we should be complacent.
The last time I saw one of them sharing the positions.
We'll not be complacent.
And when I said I was going to send him a message, have you consulted Randy before you
all right. Okay, so that's it. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining me. Up next, GMG Trends.
Fortune Rice, it's me emu ediane biara. Yansio kakre bi pe, emu no nkekamu. Na ne hwam ne dedie. Delicious. Said your mama tie no pepepe.
Ye the Fortune emopa abedwaso. Ghana mo a ede. Ma emu ediane nyina.
FDA aje ejidie nkratoa yatum.
Baba wuku be no mo nkwa.
Customer.
Wuku. Na da be na mi ntwa ma twa papa. Me twa 10 Ghana.
10 Ghana.
10 Ghana cedis.
Dano no dia, send na obenya.
10 Ghana cedis no. Me dia. Me di 54,000 Ghana cedis.
54,000.
540 million.
Yeah, the one on the cabinet is Castle.
Yeah. And then I get it's now way. It's now Aboki. Drawn on assassin. Mammy, you volume.
One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending with Desi, the star boy. Desi.
Look,
yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're wrapping up the working week today, the 10th day of May 2024. And yesterday, of course, the main night situation that happened in 2001, there was a commemoration ceremony yesterday for it. You know, from the sporting world, definitely. I wasn't there when that. Hey, oh yeah, I was around, but like I was just about 5 years. Was that 5? Yeah, 5 years.
I was at the stadium with a sports journalist. She's now a lawyer. She's been a lawyer for about 10 years. Iva Autry.
Oh, okay.
So we're together at the media place just close to Adekoka. You know, we're watching a game and chatting together. I mean, for a long time. We left the stadium. I went somewhere and then seated at a friend of mine, Atu. He has a place right step at Pig Farm. I was there when I started hearing the
news about what happened there.
Yes.
Really sad situation there. So may the souls rest in peace, and never again is that going to happen in our country. Let's go to Kumasi, because today there's a big commissioning happening, and that is the Nana Agyemang Prempeh, the first international airport. The commissioning will be done by the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Of course, the other dignitaries will be joining him. So that's the decoration happening at the airport, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful one. Nana Agyemang Prempeh, the first international airport. So we're looking forward to that. So this is a big one.
Yeah, beautiful. We're happy.
Yeah, we're happy about that.
Let's put it to use. Let's try and make sure that it contributes to the socio-economic development of this country. But airfares are too expensive in Ghana. Yeah, the taxes are just too. They're not competitive. Yeah, the taxes on air tickets just too
crazy.
Yeah. Yes. And especially the domestic airlines, they're suffering. They are running huge losses, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a miracle that many of them are still in the business.
Anyway, we're talking about that. Shouts to my brother, Edward Quayson. Yeah. Anyway, only flavor with the Royals of Dagbon have rejected the Nana Addo renaming of the Tamale Airport. Well, now, if you reach that, you will see what you do.
It was the Yana who wrote officially. It appears that the consultation was not done. In this case, it appears that the right consultations were done. Yes, and so.
Okay, so moving away from that, this weekend is a big one for our mothers. And you know that when it gets to this season, there's only one song. I mean, growing up, that's what we've heard every time when it's Mother's Day. I've got just a bit of it for you that we'll talk about Mother's Day, and then we wrap up with the segment.
Sweet Mother.
Sweet Mother.
Okay, I also like the Obrafo song.
Obrafo?
Yes.
Mami. Yeah, true. But this one, the guitar, when you hear the lead, you know that it's Mother's Day. So let's just take a sneak peek into it, and when we come back, we'll continue.
This is a remix.
This is a remix?
Yes.
Hey.
You're too young. I want the original.
This is a remix one.
Yes.
Okay.
This is a modern day one.
Anyway.
The young shall grow.
So this Sunday is Mother's Day in Ghana, and I want to say big one to all our mothers, all our future wives, all our like all women in general.
Are you a polygamist?
No, the future, it don't be really like say I will get future wives. So
okay.
Like I'm saying it in general for all.
Okay.
Yeah. So happy Mother's Day.
But Ghanaian law permits polygamy.
Yeah.
You can marry under customary law.
Yeah. That.
So if you want to, you can.
So Mother's Day to my mother Agnes and Kubi.
Me, I can't. But you
yeah, I go follow your footsteps.
Oh, please.
I go do one there. I will do one.
Okay.
I will do one. So Agnes and Kubi.
Your friends here don't trust you.
Oh, one per.
Okay.
Oh, one. Agnes and Kubi Atamame. Thank you. That's my mother.
Well, you have twin siblings?
Yeah. I have twin siblings, so she's Atamame. Happy Mother's Day to you, to Mother Becky too. Happy birthday to you. Happy Mother's Day to you. To all the mothers who have fed me. Chawadoso, Dr. Jejinodro, UCC, Mrs. Kwisin, Mrs. Kumi, Reverend Dr. Nanaya Prempe. Odoso.
There's one you must not forget.
Abejewa. Abejewa. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Nobody I share trunk. So we will not know that it is.
Abejewa.
Nobody profit.
Oh, no. Me born
Okay. So on behalf of the kids and I want to say a special happy Mother's Day to our mother, Mrs. Tessa Abbey. Yes. From Jason Jr., Tia and Tessa, and of course myself.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day. To our mother. Mrs. Tessa Abbey.
Okay. All right. So, Sunday.
You have to say yours.
Oh, happy Mother's Day to. I've mentioned my mother already.
Just a 419 boy.
Happy Mother's Day to you, Manela. Yeah.
Hey.
I don't talk this one. But happy Mother's Day to Emanuela Edo and Shimenu. Yeah. Happy Mother's Day. Oh, Doc, there's no difficulty. Oh, but they talk that to
you. This young man.
And they talk that to freely.
This young man. Oh.
But also, Jennifer is celebrating her birthday this weekend. So, yeah.
Which day?
Monday. Oh, Monday.
13th.
Okay, yeah. So, Monday.
Okay.
13th. And also Vanessa, who's with the team. I was with her. Props. Yeah. So, happy birthday in advance to all of you. We appreciate your service to the Good Morning Ghana.
And Mrs. Adelaide Japan.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. When is her birthday?
Mother's Day.
Oh, on Sunday. She's a big mama.
Mrs. Adelaide Japan.
Yes. She's our biggest mother. Happy Mother's Day to you and all mothers out there. So, look.
You won't say Happy Mother's Day to Annie?
Oh, yeah. To Annie Fampofu, Happy Mother's Day to you. From all your sons, Kiki and Josh.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's it for today.
So enjoy the weekend. Up next, Metro Sports.
Brace yourself for pageantry, reality, and entertainment. It's the ultimate celebration of beauty on the Miss Gorgeous Beauty Pageant and Reality Show. Prepare to cheer up and vote for your birth month delegate to victory. Miss Gorgeous, dare to dazzle.